Welcome everyone to the 27th Annual Pistahan Virtual Parade and Festival. I'm Sonia Delen, President of the Filipino Food Movement, and for many years we have been partnering with Pistahan to bring to you the Culinary Pavilion. Now more than ever in this time of pandemic, we need to help each other, and we are coming to you virtually. Food is very central to the Filipino culture and community. It is healing, it's food is love, food is community. And so we're bringing to you today an iconic Filipino dish, the adobo. Of course, adobo is prevalent all over and is very well known as a Filipino dish. But then there are so many versions of adobo. And that's because we have many different islands. We have 7,100 plus islands, and they have different influences from the region and internationally. And today I am very thrilled to be joined by a friend, a very dear friend, an international superstar, and he's going to tell us why his adobo is special. He is known all over the world to be a member of the Grammy Award-winning Black Eyed Peas and a very talented songwriter and a philanthropist. And but there's something that you don't many do not know about, and that is he loves to cook. He's actually the designated chef of the Black Eyed Peas when they are on tour. And so I just want you to know him in a different light, not just the international superstar, but there are so many other things to Apple, a philanthropist, and also his love of cooking, a health nut. And welcome, I just want you to welcome Apple, the app of the Black Eyed Peas.
It's always whenever you go to Pistan, it's always like home, because the culture and of course a lot of Filipinos, it makes you feel like home. And then our the most important thing is what we represent is food. If you have a friend over, what do? What do you offer? Food, right? When you go to Nana's house and everybody comes over, or you invite your friend, of course they're gonna have to eat. And I used to be the sous chef for my mom, just assisting, and I guess I picked it up. And when I moved to the U.S., um, I asked her, because I was living by myself, to send me all the recipes,
Oh, wow.
and she like wrote it down and like so many pages, and it's on my fridge. It's like on a magnet on my fridge, so that's
Yeah.
what I follow.
Oh my goodness. So have you always been, so it's only when you came to the US that you started cooking? Is that what it is?
Yeah, because before I used to just help my mom out and in the kitchen, but I'd never really like cooked anything. When I moved to the US, now I'm living by myself. You know, I'm like, oh, I thought I did. I thought I knew,
Right.
but I didn't know at all. So I had to really ask for the recipes and the ingredients, and then I really got to learn it. The timing, how you saute things, how you make it tasteful. So I've been practicing.
Oh my goodness. And of course, I heard that you are the designated chef of the Black Eyed Peas when you are on tour. And that's so
Yeah,
amazing.
we lived in London when we worked on one of our record. I think it was Monkey Business, and we lived in one house in London, and that's when I started really practicing my cooking. And I just started cooking, and then Taboo's favorite is Sinigang, and then Fergie's favorite is Bistek, and then will.i.am's favorite is adobo. So I was just rotating those three.
Oh my goodness. And I'm sure they enjoy that so much. And I remember when we were at the Greek theater one time in the green room, we have the sinigang, we have the lumpia, we have the adobo and pancit. And yes, indeed, Will I Am was, loving the adobo and the Filipino food. How is it that do you cook for other people? I mean, your friends
Uh,
in Hollywood,
oh yeah, yeah. I cooked. I love boxing. I love watching boxing,
uh-huh.
boxing matches. So whenever there's a fight, I always cook Filipino food. So all my friends come over, and then we watch the fight, and then eat some whatever is requested. And those always the three that are requested. It's always the adobo, the bistek, and then the sinigang. So, and then it's a gang watching fights, eating Filipino food.
That's so neat. I remember you were here also for one of our events at Union Square. And the one thing that we have to prepare for you in the green room was the sinigang. We've got to have the sinigang.
Man, who doesn't love sinigang, right? You have everything in there, and of course the sourness, the asim, and of course there's a lot of gulay. That's what I like about it. A lot of
Oh,
vegetables,
mm.
and it's of course you got to match it with rice, and
I-
it's the best combo ever.
and so I see that you know how to cook rice.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh yeah. I could do it all. I could do it too with the measurement. You know how we
Exactly.
do use the finger
You
or the
fingered it.
cup
Uh-huh.
and I could do it with a rice cooker or on top of a stove top.
That is
You
so
know.
amazing because you know what I cannot do it. I have to have and even my rice cooker I could not even do it right. I'm so
Oh,
glad. But what is your
I,
favorite food? I mean, what is your favorite among the three?
I would have to say all of them, all
All
of
of them.
them. But what I like to cook though is bistek. Because you have to really put a lot of labor of love with it, and you have to really, put in work because you got to make that. You have to tenderize that meat, and I think that I love cooking bistek because you have to really, um, you know, um, the object is to make it soft and malambot, so
Exactly.
it's easier to eat, So I guess that's the challenge, and that's why I love cooking this thing.
But that's also so interesting because I know when we travel together, I've seen you eat and vegan. So do you prepare what vegan food dish do you prepare?
Oh, so there was a couple of years when I was vegan, and then I went back home for the holidays, back in Pampanga at my mom's house, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm just eating vegetables now. She looked at me kind of crazy, like, the mom looked like, what? You crazy? And then I was like, yeah, mom, so, you're gonna have to like flip everything. Like, so she would make me like tofu adobo or kangkong adobo, or of course, there's so many like Pinoy food that are actually vegan. You know what I mean? Like ginataan. If you take out the meat, it's all just it's you could make that very vegan.
And there are so
And
many restaurants now who really offer vegan Filipino food, and that's amazing in the
yeah, you
Bay
could
Area.
like
We have that.
yeah, it's so easy to turn everything into and of I guess and healthier options. But once in a while I gotta go. Like at least once a month. I try to be good. Like if I don't have any video shoots or anything, like at least twice a month, right? But the rest, I try to be good. But you can never let that go. You can never let go of food. But the good thing is now you can like you have a choice on how to flip it. You know, you could make it like just vegan style or the OG style. And yeah, there's so many ways to do it.
Okay, so I am so excited that you're going to be cooking adobo. I have seen you do cooking demos in, for Savor Filipino, the Filipino Food Movement. And then we also went to a house in Oakland Hills, remember? Where
Oh
we,
yeah.
we had that real big, and then when we told you that, oh, we're just gonna cook your recipe, and you said, no, I want to cook, I want to cook, I will cook. And so everybody was there watching you cook, and it's really, a joy to see you, because we can just see that it really, I think you're happy when you cook.
Oh yeah. And of course, like, you know, yeah, it's almost like a meditation, and like it makes you feel, because I'm always away from my family, it brings me back home. And of course, being Kapampangan, you gotta like, I gotta be on point, I gotta be on point with it.
That is so amazing. So can you tell us about how you do your adobo? I mean, you don't have to do it, step by step, but do you like to get to the market yourself to pick the
Oh
ingredients?
yeah, yeah. So of course, I go to the market and pick everything myself. And during the pandemic, you know what I mean. So, and my friend likes, you know, I have a lot of friends. They like different part of the chicken. Some of them likes the chicken breast, and then some likes the legs. So I just get everything, and and I try to like kind of take off some of the fat on it, like the extra fat and like the extra skin to make it a little leaner, you know. And then like and and of course, the ingredients, the usual ingredients,
Mhm.
the soy sauce, vinegar. But I like to make mine. Sometimes I like to change it up. Like instead of potatoes, sometimes I'll put mushrooms, or of course, the vinegar, soy sauce, paminta, garlic, onions, bay leaves, and like the trick about the potatoes is while you're doing the first boil, you fry the potatoes and you make them really crispy and brown. So when you cook it with the adobo, they don't dissolve. They still remain as a whole potato. And then and of course the resauteing, that always adds up to the recipe. Of course I'll do like a one onion and garlic with the first boil, and then I'll cut another half an onion and more garlic, and then I'll saute that and flip it back on into adobo to make it more tastier. And yeah, it's
This is so amazing, Apple, because my God, again, as I said, there are so many different versions of adobo up and down the country. And, at
yeah,
one point, the New York Times featured us as, adobo being so many different ways. But I actually did not know about putting potatoes in adobo or even mushroom. I mean, and why not?
yeah,
Every single food, you can just have any veggies in there. And this
yeah. You could add like non-offensive veggies, like, yeah, like mushrooms are good because they just absorbed anyway. They just absorb everything. Like you could put like unripe jackfruit. Yeah, you could flip it around. You could add some tofu in there, and yeah. So
that
anything
is
like, yeah,
wow. I mean, I learned something from you, and that's really great. And I just cannot wait to see you, and I cannot wait to taste the food. But I've been so privileged and fortunate to be able to have tasted the food that you have cooked. And it's really amazing because you're such a health nut. I know that you used to have. I don't know about the pandemic now, but Wednesdays you take people to Griffith or Venice Park. Do you still do your workouts?
You know what? Since the pandemic, I just work out at home, and I've been doing this challenge. It's like 100 burpees a day. So that's like that's I've been ordering workout equipment, and I just been doing it at home pretty much. So
Wow.
you
That
can
that is
go.
so amazing. And to the viewers, it's just so amazing to know about Apple. The other, there's so many things to Apple. He's, and of course, an international artist, and now you know that he loves to cook. He's a real chef, with a
No.
with a black eyed peas and at home. And but there's one thing also. But before I go there, Apple. So who cooks the better adobo, your mom or yourself?
Oh, of course, moms. You can't compete. You can't compete. Like, cause my friends, they've tasted my mom's adobo, and when they taste mine, it's like they're like, "Oh, you almost got it. You almost got it." I think she's like keeping some secrets because she still want me to go back home. You still have to be, you know what I mean? You still got to go back home. So she's not gonna give you the whole ingredients. So but one time, she snuck in a 7 Up. She poured some 7 Up. I'm like, hey, you didn't tell me that. You know,
You do it
like
in the
so.
bistek, though. You do it in the bistek, right? The 7 Up.
Well, the I seen her do it with everything. Like,
Really?
yeah. I know there's some ingredients she's not telling me about. So, you know. But I think I'm slowly figuring it out because I see some, when she comes visits, and then there's certain bottles there that like I haven't touched. I'm like, I wonder what is this oyster sauce doing here, or this like, so yeah,
This is
yeah,
really
there's
so
some
incredible because I have met your mom and she's a sweetheart, really. And it would be nice to really have, like, mom and child, mom and son cooking. And that will be a great thing. There's so many and it's not that you had any formal training. It's a training with her is what basically you did.
Oh
And
yeah, no, her recipe is like to the T. Like it's really very descriptive and how many minutes and stuff. So I just follow that like religiously.
so, Apple, tell us about translation. Congratulations on, the different milestones. This is amazing.
Yeah, so we've been working on translation since November last year, and we were always you know working on new music. And Ritmo, it was on a Bad Boy soundtrack, and then of course pandemic happened, and we just made the choice to, because a lot of artists, they're like they kind of went to a halt into creating music because of the pandemic. But we kind of like we saw it as this is the actual time to really create music to bring joy to people, because we're all going through through difficulties and with the situation. So we're like, you know what? Let's create something like really like joyful and at least people could listen to through, during the pandemic. And you know, and we were just every project we're always inspired by like you know like international sound. Our last album was more like dance influence. And then when we did the Masters of the Sun tour, we always like going out and absorbing the city and the sound. So we're inspired by like we would go out to clubs and we would hear a lot of Afro beats and reggaeton. So when we went back home to work on the album, we were really inspired by how festive it is and how international sounding it was. And we always like to take like something that's from the underground that's bubbling and translate it to all throughout the world, through all the different countries and places that you'd never hear like these artists and this style of music. Like they would never hear like reggaeton in the Philippines, so or in Asia or in different part of Europe. And so we feel like we are the translators of like different music genres. And then we're the all the collaborations these are the artists that we're like a fan of, we're uh, a fan of, and that we're inspired by, and just really innovative. And we just reached out to all the artists through just via Instagram. It's like, is that really you? Like, DMing me to, and then like, and most of the people that are very like inspiring for us are, Latin artists, because they have a vision of international. Jesus has always been that way, so it really matched. And then so we were collaborating different like Spanish to English, and then I'm like, there's always been a tradition to for every album to have a Tagalog song on there. So it made perfect sense. I wanted to do a Tagalog song, but in the other side of translation, like from English to Tagalog. So get it? Like, you know, this is really like mostly Latin inspired um, a style of album. So on our side, as Pinoys, and of course, we are very close to Latin culture also because of history and how Philippines was. I don't have to tell that story, right?
Yeah.
That's why we're really inspired by. It's not too far away from how mixed we are with that culture. So, Mabute is like the first Taglish. My Bebot was like full on Tagalog. So this one is really translating English to Tagalog. So that's why that's Mabute.
You're able to introduce Tagalog or the Philippine culture to the world. It's becoming, all of a sudden they know how to say mabute.
Yeah. Like I'm glad that our my teammates, my bandmates are open minded, and like they always encourage me to like represent my culture. And so that's why it's been a tradition to have a Tagalog song, to rep our culture. And of course, from our food to our language. And yeah, very happy that I was able to include that in translation.
So tell me about the nominations.
Oh, very thankful and blessed. And you know, it's you know, it's very like it feels so new again because we've been gone for almost a decade or 8 years before we came out with another pop album. And you know it's we're just I don't even know how to like explain it in words. I'm just very thankful for all the supporters or the people that streaming the album. And I think we're just thankful that they're the one that did it. We just love doing making music and doing what we love to do. And it's the supporters and the listeners that made it happen.
So, Apple, congratulations again. And I'm sure you would have been on tour by now. We had it not been for the pandemic. What's going to happen? When do you get to tour?
Yeah, we are in Europe right now, according to our previous schedule. But you know, we're set to go out by middle of next year if everything goes well. With the pandemic, we'll be out touring the album. And if not, we just gotta think of other innovative way to perform, just like how we've been doing our guest appearances to Good Morning America, to the Late Show. We've actually, built our own stage and virtual stage at our studio, so we can still do some type of performance, other than just being on Zoom. We actually taking the time to build back something virtual and something fun and innovative.
So, all viewers, I must tell you, he is our international pride, the Philippine pride. But there's something else that you don't know about Apple, or you may have heard about Apple. And for me, it's just the way that he gives back to the community. I have not really, met many, but this is an artist uh, who has such a big heart. And I am privileged to be working with Apple, partnering with Apple. I am the chairperson of the Campaign for Filipino Children of the Apple the App Foundation International. And many years ago, he mandated us. He said, I want you to do something of healthcare, medical for the Filipino children. And so together we established a campaign for Filipino children where we provide much needed retinal imaging system. It's called a RetCam, and
Hmm.
also the laser equipment um, to be able to eradicate a preventable blindness caused by retinopathy of prematurity, which is over exagination on premature newborn baby. Why is that so important for you, Apple?
Yeah, well, I guess we thank you, by the way, Sonia, for really helping me out, pointing me to the right direction. Um, the Apple of My Eye campaign is very important because I am legally blind. I have a rare condition called nystagmus and the voluntary movement of your eyeballs and stuff. So I had a difficult time through school in Philippines. Really made me timid, and thank God for music, right?
Right.
Um, like I don't really need my vision. I just need my mind, my heart, and my soul. So I was blessed with that opportunity. So that's why it's important for me to give back, because I know growing up in the Philippines is hard enough. It's already hard, but imagine being challenged with eyesight or being blind. So that's really close to my heart to be able to help kids just like me to have a better opportunity. And these aid that we could provide so they could have an equal opportunity in gaining education, so they don't fall behind, and it gives them hope because I went through it, and it's very difficult. So, and that's why that's very important.
Thank you so much, Apple, because we have been to Davao, the
Yes.
Southern Philippines Medical Center. And February
Yeah.
last year, we were in your hometown of Pampanga at the JB Lingad Memorial
Yeah.
Regional Hospital. And that was amazing because this is
That
your
was
folks, you know?
Yeah, that was amazing. That was amazing. Thank you again. Well, where we have we have other places, other remote places that we still need to deliver, right?
Yes, yes,
And yeah, because there's only there's only four throughout America. I mean, throughout Manila,
that's true.
and then everyone has to travel to get diagnosed, and especially for premature babies, you only have a certain window, a certain amount of hour to be able to capture that, to have that retinal detachment. So I can't wait to keep it going, and to deliver in other remote areas in Philippines.
Yes, and we're going to Iloilo next time when the pandemic is over.
Whoop
We
whoop!
have,
Yeah.
yes, I know. And so the thing here is the reason why we go to the regional centers is because there are the retinal imaging system and laser equipment in Manila, but not in the different regions. So we strategically work with the Philippine Academy of Ophthalmology to identify the
Yep.
regional centers who can sustain this program. And Apple, you have made this possible. I mean, so we have been to Mindanao and then to Davao, I mean to Pampanga, and
Uh-huh.
now we're going to Iloilo. And that's great. But
Yeah.
there's something about my experience with Apple when we were on our way to Davao, and we were inside the plane. Every not every, but many people will come up to him. He was already seated. Maybe have a photo with you, and he would get up and have a photo. I mean, that must have happened like 12 times before the door closed. And then on our way back, on our way back, we were shopping at the souvenir shop, and people would come up to him and say, "Can we have a photo with you?" And he would just stop what he's doing, and he will take photos. And so when we were inside the waiting area, I said, "Remember this, Apple?" I said, "Do you enjoy doing that? Is that okay with you? Because, if it's not okay with you, we'll just stand guard." But there's something that you said to me, and I don't
Mm.
know. And what you said to me is because they are the ones who made me. I mean, why not? So, do you enjoy that? Being
Oh
stopped?
yeah, like they're the one that's supporting me, listen to our music and what we do. So without them, there wouldn't be me. So like I know a lot of artists don't like doing it, but me, it's like, hey, you know, like I'd be more worried if you didn't ask.
Yeah, that's true. That may be true, but no, you don't have a problem with that.
The only time I have a problem is I'm in a bathroom.
And do you remember we were in Davao and we were in this big, big place where they hold the cultural cultural show, and we were barricaded, and people wanted to get to you, but of course they did not want to get to you. And then all of a sudden, there was a beeline to the men's room because that's the only place that was not organized. I was telling our party, I said, "Look, there's a beeline to the
I was like,
bathroom."
hey, I was like, make sure you wash your hands. we could do this after you wash your hands.
And not only that, I mean, one thing that you said to me when, Sonia, why are we going against traffic? we were, going counter flow, and you were just so like, no, this is so unnecessary. I am, we don't have to go counter traffic. This is not how I roll. I mean, just how humble that was. I mean,
Yeah, like you cost more attention to yourself. Like, I feel like when it's just, when you cost too much attention, then you get, you know, when you run into problem. But I don't make that as a big deal, like it's part of it. It's part of what I do.
he really is the real thing. He really is. And he's also a one called Apple. I need you in San Francisco for the domestic violence. There's 1 billion rising, and he goes in there. He goes in the podium and talks about stopping domestic violence and all. I mean, that's who Apple is really, and that's why we all love you, Apple. You're so well.
Thank
You're
you.
beloved, and so
Anything, anything for our culture, it's like we need to keep shining light, because it's a beautiful culture. We have amazing food. Now everyone's starting to use fish sauce, and that's one of our stamp in Pinoy food. Like, now it's slowly infiltrating into the world, our culture.
right. And so, Apple, I know that you have a very tight schedule. How long are you going to be in Manila for?
Yeah, I'm just here finishing the Voice Teens. Make sure to catch it. It's you can catch it on YouTube and Facebook, and yeah, just finishing the finale of it. I'll be here till the end of the month, and then yeah,
I'm
I'll be
glad that
here.
you were able to travel, be safe, and love to the family.
So I
But
wish I was there and enjoy everyone.